Welcome back to another video, and today I will be showing my recommendations for bronzy eyeshadow palettes. Welcome back, and today I thought it would be fun to do a sort of another eyeshadow palette themed video, and this was inspired by, I think if you have watched the makeup news video from this week that has gone out before this video, I discussed that it seems that this summer we are having the trend of this sort of golden bronzy makeup collections and eyeshadow palettes, at least based on the stuff that has been like announced so far. And I do think that while it is always of course fun to buy new makeup, I of course buy quite a lot of new makeup because it is a hobby for me, but I do think that it's also quite nice to think that if you have already maybe something in your collection, then you necessarily don't have to get everything. And we have I have like options in, I think, in each price categories or type of categories. So there are some from drugstore brands, there are a few from high-end brands and few from indie brands. And I think I'm just gonna go through these all in one go because there aren't like that many palettes altogether. But let's actually start from the drugstore. First I'm gonna show a smaller one. So this is a bit older. This is the Catrice 5 in a box mini eyeshadow palette, and this is in the shade Vivid Burgundy. So even though this is in the what I would call a sort of burgundy shade, but actually it is only like has one burgundy shade, which is this one, and this is not something that is terribly, I would say, like a intense burgundy. And actually I think most of these shades, like I feel that most of the time actually when I use this, it is quite of a bronze heavy look. I'd say that if you only want a sort of one bronzy palette that has maybe like for a one particular type of look and you don't want a big palette, then this actually is quite nice for it. And with this one I think the easiest way to get a bronzy look is to use this to sort of blend out the deepest shade, because the Catrice mattes in this one, they are a bit stiff to work with. So use these two as mattes and then use this one on your lid and you are ready to go and have a nice bronzy summer look. You get a bit more, I'd say, deeper bronzy look with this one, but if you want a small palette to create like one type of bronzy look, then this is actually something that I would recommend if you can still get this, because this is something that I have seen this like, I think this was on sale like during springtime when Catrice still hadn't like gotten their new spring launches in store, but you are maybe still able to find this particular palette. Then I think a recommendation, particularly if you have a more deeper skin tone. So this is the Rich palette from Beauty Bay, and it is definitely, again, maybe a bit on the burgundy side, but you can actually, in my experience, also get quite many bronzy looks with this one, especially if you stick like the more like brownish like yellow leaning shades that are included in this one. I do think that with this one, again, maybe just as with the Catrice, the looks you will get with this one are more on the deeper side of the bronzy looks because of the shades that are in this one. But if you like the Beauty Bay formula and you are looking for like a bronzy palette that you can get bronzy looks from them, then I would actually recommend this one. And there are like different versions of this one, so you can get this in a 9-pan version and also in a 42-pan version if you really like the tones. This has the same good Beauty Bay quality as the other Beauty Bay palettes have, and you do have something to mix up with this one. So there are some reddish and purple tones also with this one if you don't want to just purely stick with the bronzy eyeshadow looks. Then let's go to, I think, a palette that is a very, like, I'd say essentially a very bronzy. So this is 02, so this is the Kiko Milano 02. This actually has a name, but Kiko doesn't put the names in the palettes, but you can find the name of this online. And this again this is actually like a true traditional bronzy palette, and with this one I think said it in one of my collective eyeshadow palette review videos that with this one you truly have to like your bronzy eyeshadow looks, that if you want, because you essentially like don't get anything else with this one, and you especially have to like your like orange leaning bronzy eyeshadow looks. I do think that this is just extremely convenient. Like the size of this is, the Kiko palettes are like, these are very convenient if you, for example, travel a lot. And if you, okay, I have one of the shades, is a bit crumbly, the sort of shimmery one over here. But just that if you are like looking for this easy to blend, good affordable drugstore formula, especially in Europe, these Kiko palettes are a good option. And you can get like, because they have included a black in this one, so you can actually get some like depth also with this one. And I think if you're looking for like a very easy palette to work with, then I would like steer you to the Kiko one. But yeah, I have to get this cleaned up because one of the shade is a bit crumbly. Then the last drugstore option. So this is a from W7, and this is a UK-based drugstore brand. So this is one of their dupe palettes. So this is the Duping the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. But I felt that when I worked with this one, again, this is another palette if you're looking for drugstore option for like bronzy looks, because it has, this is a very gold and orange heavy palette. So there are like few purple tones here that you can get maybe some variation to you looks, but essentially when I was trying this out, the looks that you get with this one are almost all of them will be some type of a bronzy look. I do think the formula of this one compared to some W7 palettes that I've tried previously is very good. I didn't have any longevity issues with this one, and the shimmers actually in this one, most of them are nice. There are like a few shimmer formula in this one. There are some that are more sparkly and some that are more satiny leaning, but as I said, if you like your like golden orangey bronze looks, then another good drugstore recommendation. Next, let's go to the two indie palettes that I have in this one, and one of them is a relatively new one. So this is the Let's Get Nude palette from GlossGods, and this is actually the palette that I am using currently. And I discussed this a bit more extensively in my makeup news video, but if you have been looking for a bronzy palette from an European indie brand, I would like steer you to this one. This is a true like it's a bronzy palette, but there are some like fun special shades. The few purples that are darker purples that are in this one, in my skin tone, they actually pull quite brown leaning when I actually get them to the eyes. But I do think that they add nice depth to this one. There is a very nice like shifty white, this sort of white shade. I'm actually wearing this in the like middle of my lid today, so this actually has a very heavy yellow like shift to it. And this is just like the same good GlossGods quality that other of their palettes have been. But something I did discuss in the makeup news video, the promo images might have made this look more made this more interested than it actually is. But if you are buying this, just know that what you are gonna get are these quite like traditional golden bronzy looks, but the formula is very beautiful and we have some fun shades also in this one. Next is another indie brand, and this one is an all shimmer palette. So this is the Glamshop Totalny Blask, and this is the shimmer palette. Unfortunately, this is no longer available. I didn't include the matte palette in this video, which is the companion palette that I use with this one, purely because the mattes are actually more, there's like a grey and more purple leaning like neutral mattes in this one. But the shimmer palette, I truly think that it is quite of an bronzy like leaning, because a lot of these like sparkly shimmers, they are quite this golden, there's this like a bright orange here, and even I think like some of these darker shades, they are the more sort of golden bronzy leaning shimmers. So if you're just someone who's looking for, if you have this and you're especially the kind of person who just likes to put like a shade, like matte shade quickly on the crease and then put a nice all shimmer all over the lid, then this is actually a very good palette, and you will get, you will definitely get your summer bronzy golden looks with this one. Then lastly we are going to the sort of higher end ones, and I have two ones that I was able to sort of like dig out. So first one is this one. So this is the Natasha Denona My Dream palette, and why I have this one, I used to own I actually have owned the original Natasha Denona bronze palette. However, with that one I had the issue that I felt that too many of the shades, even though it had a multiplier of shades, many of them just look too similar on the eyes. So that is why I actually ended up keeping the My Dream one, because I do believe that while this isn't an all bronze palette, this actually, most of the looks are quite bronzy, orangey leaning that you get with this one, but you do have some variety with this one in terms of the looks that you can create. So I do say that this has a bit more depth to it in terms of compared to the original bronze palette, but you also do have the option for some like lightening up in terms of like having this sort of like, for example, this sort of peachy blending out shade here. But again, this is a palette that is very heavily orangey, bronzy leaning in terms of the looks you will get this one, and the looks you will generally like get this one are very warm toned. If you want something more cool toned, Natasha Denona also has palettes in her collection for that one, but yes. But if you are looking for like a bronzy neutral looks for the summer, but you want to have some variety, I would steer you to this one instead of buying the bronze palette, because with the bronze palette I feel that that's just, it's too much of the same thing. This one you will get more like more looks, and there are more options in terms of like depth with this one. Then the last palette, and okay, I'm losing my voice. You can see that I've been filming for quite a while now. This is maybe a bit of a surprise, but I did want to include this one to people who are maybe looking for more, you want the sort of summer bronzy look, but you're looking for something subtle. So this is actually the newest Dior Backstage palette. This is the Smokey Essentials. This was released already in the beginning of this year. This is how the palette looks like, and I'm actually gonna open it. So I think I have discussed this in maybe, there's been a review video of some kind that I have discussed this in, and with this one I am definitely saying that it might initially look that this is quite red, but the reds are very muted, and actually when you mix most of the reds with the browns that are this one, it's the sort of very like, it is not exactly an orange rusty look that you will get, sort of the sort of orange bronzy look that you will get with most of the palettes that you have seen in this video, but it's more sort of a muted rusty bronze look. Still looks that will, I think, will fit very well if you like your sort of bronzy looks in summer season, but this does it in a more subtle way. You aren't gonna get anything like super shiny. For example, the Silver Essentials that was released last year, that had a super like sparkly, not super sparkly, but a sparklier shadow. This truly has like only like more satin-like shades, but this is for definitely those people who are looking something very easily and effortless to work with. This will work wonderfully if you have a more textured lid, or if you have maybe more like already like mature lid. Then this is the Backstage formula is something that I would like 100% recommend. And as I said, you will get, like, if you're looking for your sort of beach summer night looks, you can get with this one, but this one they are like more, I'd say, like sophisticated. And I do actually like, just like I think some other palettes, this does have a black here, and what I appreciate with the Dior blacks is that they are, the two Backstage palette, the blacks that have been included, they are very easy to work with. So you have again the option to deepen up if you want a more smoky or bronzy look, then you have the option. So this one is, I think, for the people who want their sort of rusty bronze looks rather than the sort of orangey or golden bronze looks that maybe you can get with the palette that I showed previously. But yeah, that was the sort of last palette that I had for this video. So those were all the bronzy palettes I had. I do think there was quite of a nice variation to sort of cater to like different types of undertones and different sort of makeup preferences. Comment down below what do you think about this sort of bronzy summer that we seem to be having in terms, we seem to have coming in terms of summer makeup this year. And comment down below, of course, what have been like sort of your favorite bronzy eyeshadow palettes. If you like this video, then push the like button, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from my future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I hope I'll be seeing you in another video soon. Bye bye!